Listen-only mode.
Hello and welcome to this webinar on Sleep Yourself Healthy. The content for this webinar was developed by our Associate Medical Director, Dr. Beth Sanchez, and my name is Lori Benison with Lovelace Health Plan, and I will be presenting this presentation today. Before we get started, I'd like to go over a few housekeeping rules. Everyone is in listen-only mode, so if you have any questions, you can email us at healthysteps@lovelace.com. Some of you may notice a delay in the slides or scratchiness or static on the line due to stormy weather patterns. It usually resolves itself in a few minutes. If you do get disconnected, don't panic. Simply call back in. This presentation will last approximately 30 minutes. Your feedback is important to us, so please take a few minutes to complete the evaluation you'll receive via email at the end of this presentation. Today we're going to talk about sleep, some of the health benefits of sleep, how much is needed, the stages of sleep, and how to improve sleep. So let's start with the health benefits of sleep. Your heart will be healthier if you get between 7 and 9 hours of sleep each night. A lack of sleep is associated with problems with blood pressure and cholesterol. Both of these are risk factors for heart disease and stroke. Getting 7 to 9 hours of sleep each night also may help prevent cancer. We secrete a hormone called melatonin that makes us sleepy. This hormone is usually only produced in the darkness. And the more light we're exposed to, the lower the level of melatonin we have in our body. So by not getting enough sleep, it's as if your body is literally starving for melatonin. As the slide states, melatonin appears to suppress the growth of tumors. So people who work night shifts have a higher risk of breast and colon cancer, and countries generating the most light at night have the highest rate of breast cancer. So that darkness and having melatonin produced in the darkness can help prevent cancer. Sleep is the time for the body to repair itself. When we're sleeping, protein is produced in our cells, and these protein molecules form the building blocks for cells that allow them to repair damage to the body. When we don't get enough sleep, our body goes into a state of stress. When our body is in this stress state, we produce stress hormones, and these stress hormones circulating in our system make it harder to sleep. It can be a really vicious cycle. Serotonin is one of the neurotransmitters that we know is oftentimes very low when people that are depressed. We often don't get enough sleep. Our serotonin levels can become depleted and contribute to feelings of sadness and depression. According to a Stanford study, getting enough sleep can help you lose weight. Leptin and ghrelin are hormones that work in a kind of checks and balances system to control feelings of hunger and fullness. Ghrelin stimulates appetite, and leptin sends a signal to the brain that you're full. When you don't get enough sleep, leptin levels go down so you don't feel as satisfied after you eat, and ghrelin levels rise so your appetite is stimulated and you want more food. Again, another vicious cycle there. So how much do we need? Newborn babies need 16 to 18 hours of sleep each day. At a year old, that goes down to about 13 or 14 hours a day. Kids or toddlers need about 10 hours a day. Teens may need 8.5 to 9 hours of sleep, so slightly less than kids, but their sleep-wake cycle or their circadian rhythm shifts, so they tend to fall asleep later at night and wake up earlier in the morning. Adults need 7 to 8 hours on average. Only 10% of the population requires significantly more or less sleep than that. And with older adults, the number of hours doesn't change. We still need 7 to 8 hours on average, but the sleep-wake cycle changes again, it shifts again, and older adults tend to fall asleep earlier in the evening and then wake up later in the morning. And the quality of sleep tends to be poorer as we get older, so just shallower and often resulting in lots of awakenings during the middle of the night. Let's talk about the stages of sleep. Stage 1, this is where you're just starting to feel drowsy. Stage 2 is a light sleep. Stage 3, you're getting into a really deep sleep. Stage 4 is the deepest sleep. And then rapid eye movement is the last stage where you're starting to wake back up again. So we move through cycles throughout the night. Each cycle takes about 90 to 120 minutes, and we cycle through all of these stages 4 to 5 times each night. So stage 1 is the earliest and the lightest of all. This is what if you're just starting to fall asleep, it's pretty easy to wake up from this stage of sleep. This is also where you have those sudden muscle contractions that might be preceded by a sense of falling. Stage 2 is still a light sleep, but here your breathing pattern and your heart rate slows down, your body temperature begins to drop, and you begin to see some background activity if you're hooked up to an EEG machine. Stages 3 and 4 are called slow wave or deep sleep, and here we begin to see what's called delta waves, and this is where the body is really in a deep sleep, and it uses this time for rejuvenation. And then stage 5, the last one, is rapid eye movement, and this is where we often have our dreams. So how do we improve sleep? So here's some things that you can do. Practice some consistent habits. Go to bed and get up at the same time each day. It helps to keep the circadian rhythm synchronized. The strongest desire for sleep, they say, is between midnight and dawn, and 2 to 4. And the second strongest desire for sleep occurs in the mid-afternoon from like 2 to 3. So maybe a siesta isn't a good idea. So if you can't sleep, if you go to bed and you can't fall asleep within 20 minutes, the recommendation is to just get up, do something boring until you get sleepy, and sit quietly in the dark. Don't expose yourself to bright light during this time that you're up. And we did say that you get tired in the afternoon around 2 and 3, so if you do want to take a nap, try to keep it, it's like a little cat nap, 20 to 30 minutes only, never for more than an hour, and never after 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So sleep rituals, in addition to going in bed and getting up at the same time, it can also help to practice relaxation exercises, listening to relaxing music, reading, drinking a warm beverage like milk or chamomile tea, and practicing relaxation exercises like deep breathing, progressive muscle relaxation, or even praying can help set the stage for a good night's sleep. And healthy adults, make sure you're exercising regularly. Exercise is the only way known to boost the amount of deep sleep you get. 30 to 60 minutes a day is the recommendation, but do refrain from exercising at least 2 hours before bedtime, because exercise is a paradox. It takes energy, but yet it creates energy, so you don't want to get yourself wound up right before bed. Really morning or early afternoon exercise is the best time, as it will not interfere with your sleep. You can improve your sleep surroundings, making sure that you use your bedroom for 2 things only, sleep and sex. Don't use your bedroom to pay your bills or have your work piled up next to you, or your computer and your laptop. Make sure it's quiet. If noise bothers you, wear earplugs or get a white noise machine like a fan. You'll also be more comfortable if it's dark and if it's cool and you have a good bed to sleep in. And if light in the early morning bothers you, you can get a blackout shade or wear a slumber mask. And don't eat after 6. If you must, make it something light and easy to digest, like a piece of fruit. Things like coffee, tea, cola, Coca, chocolate, and some prescription and non-prescription drugs can contain caffeine. Often people have a drink or a knife cap in effort to help them sleep. While alcohol relaxes the muscles, on the downside, it suppresses REM sleep, it causes frequent awakenings, and it can cause frightening dreams. So watch what you drink. And chill out. Body temperatures drop when we sleep, so you can mimic this drop in body temperature by having a hot bath 90 minutes before bedtime to raise the body temperature, and then when it drops, hopefully drowsiness will be felt. Something you can do to help set your circadian rhythms is whenever you rise, go outside in the morning and turn your face to the sun for at least 15 minutes. Make sure you use some sunscreen there. We need 30 minutes a day of natural light. Well, it's not a problem here in New Mexico. In some places, it may be helpful to use a light box. And do not check the clock if you wake up in the middle of the night. You get into that rhythm of, oh my gosh, it's 2 a.m. I'm going to be exhausted. Arg, now it's 2:15 and I'm wide awake. Do not do this. Just don't look at the top if you wake up at the clock if you wake up in the middle of the night. And watch what you say to yourself. If you find yourself ruminating about being tired and not being able to sleep, try one of these strategies instead. You can try deep breathing, a distracting mental task that's boring, like singing the alphabet or repeating a prayer or a song. Try relaxing your muscles from your forehead to your toes. These are just some ideas that you can practice to help you from ruminating over not being able to sleep in the middle of the night. So this concludes our presentation. We hope that you will join us again. Check our website at lovelacehealthplan.com for other webinars that we have on file, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye-bye.